What do you do when you really care about someone and want to be there in life, but they treat you poorly constantly? And I'm repeating that question, of course, just for clarity. I'm a little thrown off. If they treat you poorly constantly, why do you really care about them? And maybe it's nuanced. I don't know anything about this particular relationship. But if you care about someone and you want to be there for them, but they treat you poorly, why do you want to be there for them if you know what that's going to yield? I can only say that in my life, when I feel like I am not gaining anything from a relationship, and that not to say that a relationship is a one-way street. It isn't. It's give and take. It's always give and take. It's give and take. But when it's all give, like across the board, just nothing but you giving, that may be time for you to close the chapter on that relationship or pull back. I've cut people out, and I didn't do it like a lot of YouTube commenters will do, like, oh, I hate you, I'm gonna unsubscribe. And that's not the way to do it. The way to cut someone out of your life is just to basically ghost them. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna make you a priority. You haven't necessarily, you don't have to tell them this unless you want to. You haven't necessarily made me a priority. Why should I make you a priority? Like, and sometimes there are mismatched expectations, certainly, but we're not even talking about mismatched expectations, right? We're not even talking about priorities. We're talking about you caring about someone, but them treating you poorly. If they are treating you poorly, that cannot make you feel great. Not to say that, every time that you interact, you want to feel great. More often than not, interactions are independent of feelings and emotions, right? They're interactions. But if they do something consistently that doesn't make you feel good, continuing to expose yourself to that can just continue to yield nothing but bad feelings that may very well begin to enable you to recognize that it's not very healthy. You can still care about them. No one's saying you don't have to care about them. But that doesn't mean you have to continually expose yourself. So imagine you care about someone, right? And they're swinging razor blades at you, right? Okay, you can still care about them, but that doesn't mean you have to be in the path of them swinging razor blades. You feel me? Like, you got to protect yourself. You do. Everyone does, right? Self-preservation. Absolutely. It's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to decide what you're going to do in that situation. It's your responsibility. Should you be in control of yourself, and let's face it, if you're an adult, you're probably in control of yourself and your behaviors. You're responsible to effectively walk away, virtually, physically, to not be in the path of them swinging razor blades at you, whether that happens to be verbally or physically, certainly, hopefully not. You can still care about them at a distance. No one's saying stop caring. Nobody. But if you really think that you're going to care them into treating you better, come on. It's the same thing as you cannot expect to hate me into liking something. It's never going to happen. Which makes every argument on the internet like null and void. You can't hate me into liking something. I'm never going to like The Expanse. It's not going to happen. Stop hating me into liking it. It's not going to. So, do you understand? So, I've effectively decoupled this scenario. You don't have to be around them to care about them. You may still care about them. But that doesn't mean you have to subject yourself to pain. That's my opinion. Am I qualified anything? Absolutely not. Do I know what I'm talking about? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But this is my advice. You asked the question, I'm going to give you a response. So you have the ability to stop yourself from feeling pain in that scenario. But in avoiding pain, that does not necessarily mean that you've dropped the ability to care about that individual. And if it's a situation where that person doesn't realize the pain that they are causing, then it may behoove you to confront them. That's a really dramatic word. To effectively explain, look, I care about you, but when you do this, I feel this, right? Not just leaving it up to them, not just playing the you game, but bring yourself into it, right? Making I statements like, I feel like this when you do this, or I feel like this when something happens. And some people may not understand that. They will take that as an attack. They'll take it as an all-out attack. And potentially even make that situation worse, where they're so immature, doesn't matter what their age is, they may still be so immature that they can't recognize the pain that they're causing. And so it could be for a variety of reasons, but in that scenario, you may still care about them. And that's the reason why you're saying, hey, I'm saying this because I do care. It's just I can't be around this because I care so much. When I'm put in this situation, I don't feel good. I don't feel comfortable. I feel betrayed, offended, frustrated, whatever that happens to be where they're causing that amount of pain. But you're in control. You're in control of how you respond to that. You are. And there are people out there who claim, oh, you're the one. And that's what they do, right? You're the one who's doing X, Y, and Z. Like, well, wait a minute. Like, it takes two to tango. And if they don't recognize their role in whatever uncomfortable situation they may be causing because of their behavior, again, they're not mature enough to accept responsibility for their behavior. So you have to be mature enough to accept responsibility for your own behavior and how you respond. And trust me, I've dealt with people, plenty of people who love to gaslight. Love it. They love to gaslight. Love it. Like it's just innate. It's an immediate response. It's a trigger. It's just their immediate response is to gaslight, which just only compounds frustrations and anger. And so when I would respond with frustration and anger, that would just only exacerbate the situation, because they were like, hey, you need to stop being angry. I'm like, dude, I'm doing my best. Like, it's like, I can't, you can't come at me swinging razor blades, treating me like an enemy when I'm not your enemy. I'm not. And because I do care, I'm going to stand up, because I'm not ready to be steamrolled. And I'm going to, especially if I'm not in control of myself, it's difficult sometimes to remove myself from a situation, right? But that's the best time to remove yourself from the situation. When you're feeling like I can't do this, it's the best time to walk, right? So there are heated situations, there are not heated situations, there are a variety of variables at play, but man, you can still care about them, but that doesn't mean you have to put up with their BS. That's how you got, put your guard up. Like, nope. That's a line. That's a line that you've crossed. And until you recognize your role and your behavior and how that impacts everything around both of us, like, this is just, it's not going to go anywhere. This is not going to go anywhere. Still care. Absolutely still care. That's why I'm still talking to you. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to put up with your BS. And as far as I'm concerned, when you cause discord with this particular relationship, whatever that relationship happens to be, it's not good for me. Well, when you do this, it's not good for me. They tit for tat, right? That's when it's like, all right, dude. Like, let's not. I'm not talking about tit for tat. I'm talking about this situation right now where I care about you, but you make me feel bad. It's probably not your fault. I'm not saying it isn't. But if someone else can't recognize their role in your pain, it's a sign of immaturity. Right? And it's a matter of perspective too, right? Like, because just because I see something some way doesn't mean that the other person sees it the same way. All the more reason to communicate and be clear about it. But if it gets to the point where there's no easy way to communicate without like just vitriol, then it's just like, dude, I can't. Just you walk. You're like, I'm gonna keep a distance until you understand your role in this. Like, I can't communicate with you, and that's fine. I think it's fine. I think it's better, because there ain't no good, kind of going after someone when they obviously keep causing pain, and until they recognize that they're causing that pain, it's layers of an onion, man. It's like, it's not just one thing. It's nuanced. I'm giving you some potential guidance, but you're in control of yourself. So good luck with that. Your mind wants her to feel like crap, just like she made me feel. No. But at the end of the day, you do care about her, and you want to be mature about it, so I'm not adding fuel to the fire. Okay, XDX BrackX, I'm glad I caught that comment. Your mind wants her to feel like crap. No. Because then you're tit for tatting. And who's going to win in that situation? Nobody. Moreover, you just exacerbate the problem. If you're trying to address one particular issue, because this is, come on, one at a time. You cannot, like, does a leader, fix all the problems all at once, simultaneously? Like, that's it? No. One at a time. This is the issue. We'll talk about the other issues later. This is the issue I want to talk about now. When they keep moving it back, they're avoiding. They're avoiding any kind of solution. They're punting it down the field, and they're throwing it back at you, which is the sign of, again, immaturity and inability to argue. Stay on one topic, right? One topic at a time. The topic right now is this. We'll talk about the other topics after we move to a resolution for this. But let me tell you, trying to make her feel bad is going to make both of you feel bad, because you're going to say something that you regret. And trust me, I've run into plenty of people who do not know how to argue, who do not know how to take a position and stick to one topic. They just continually just like, well, maybe I'll just overwhelm them with all their problems, and that way I won't have to deal with mine. It's not a good way to argue. It's a great way of showing that you cannot argue and you cannot effectively communicate. If you do that, if you try to because trust me, it's a tactic. Seriously, it's a tactic in arguing, where when you're feeling attacked, you throw it back and like, well, you do this, you do that, you do the other thing, and this and that, and you. I'm like, whoa. We're talking about topic A, and you're like, let's just focus on A. I said, I tell you what, I'll promise to talk about C, D, and E, but first we gotta cover A. Let's talk about A. Just focus. One thing at a time. And that one thing keeps you on point. Whatever that point is, because a situation arose where she did, this is according to you, she did something. And by the way, you could be a girl, and a guy could be doing this to you. This is not about, I'm just taking what this is playing out here, because trust me, there are people all around who can do it, who can argue well and work to resolution well and fix problems well, and people who can't, people who just want to wallow in the problem. So you need to resolve to fix the problem, to resolve the issue. Stay focused on that, okay? And it may be easier to put your feelings to the side when you're just focused on, look, I just want to address this issue. We'll talk about the other issues later. This is the one issue. I'll write it down. Okay, we'll talk about the issue. Right now, this is the issue I want to talk about. This is the issue. This is the only issue. Focus! And your focus should not be on trying to cast pain in reverse. Don't mirror it, dude. You're just going to make it worse. And I'm telling you that from years of experience, okay? Don't. Okay, hang on. Okay. Thank you, Krusty. I'm missing the message. This person has mental health issues. That's a different story, right? That's a different story. And mental health is a thing we all got to talk about. I'm going to say that right now. Absolutely. But even in that situation, you don't want to hold it. You don't. You've got to work towards a solution. And in order to work towards a solution, they have to be willing to work towards a solution. And if that solution involves mental health, part of that is getting help. So, thanks for your joke. I appreciate that. So yeah, mental health is always a thing. You got to protect your own mental health. Absolutely. And if that person isn't doing much to help their mental health, and it's obvious they're not, you got a problem on your hands. And because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And if they don't recognize that, and they're not willing to fix that problem that starts there, independent of you, doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do, because you're dealing with a situation that's it's not going to get better until you have the tools in your hand to resolve the situation, right? But if they're making you feel bad, I don't care what anybody's state is, don't flip it around. Like this, what's the point? It's just an emotional barb. It's a jab. It's like accommodate it and work to resolve it. Part of it may very well be talking about mental health. Clearly, I'm like, look, there's no judgment. Let me tell you, you're getting no judgment from me. I think more people should be talking about their mental health. The problem, it's been stigmatized for years. Stigmatized. Like, there's no shame in that. There's no shame in asking for help and needing help. No shame at all. You'll never get it from me. Ever. I will warn you, of course, if you jump into a YouTube comment and you say something that's like, whoa, hey. But you got to be responsible for your own actions. It comes back to that. You got to be responsible for your own behaviors. It comes back to that. Whether or not there's a mental health issue, don't think that that's the beginning and the end, because therapy exists. Medication exists that could very well help you get through situations. Trust me, been down this path before. Yeah. It's like I said, it's nuanced. I'm not like, am I an expert? Nope. Am I another human being? Absolutely. Have I had experience with this? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm not licensed to do anything apart from talk. Well, I'm not even licensed to talk. So I'm just saying, get help if you need it. Don't continue to expose yourself to pain and become a victim of your lack of being able to control what you do. Whatever your mental state is, whatever your health conditions are, you are responsible for yourself.